unconscious, the sea of Brahma. Call it what you will. It is the source from which all things emerged, and to which all things must return. Now, we see that Pralaya basically says that she predates the Creator and God, his or herself, must fall. And that without the nothing she embodies, then nothing will exist. When she says before the Creator, now we are going to go through a series of back and forth stuff, the journey of being a power scalar. We are going to go through the journey and come to a conclusion gradually. That I like giving my audience that so you know what it feels like. When she says before the Creator, now we do know that Hecate is the Creator and the presence is a Creator inside the Creator like many others. Pralaya uses this gender-neutral term which we know Hecate is female and the presence is male. This would have been the overvoid, which would have made perfect sense since she says, call it the unmanifest void, God's unconscious, the sea of Brahma. So basically, the overvoid would be the sea of Brahma, and Pralaya would be the nothingness in it. But now she's actually referring to Hecate, and this is why. One, we know by now that Hecate birthed all things because she birthed the presence from the collective unconscious. Birthed Perpetua, who created the light multiverse with power given to her. Hecate created the dark multiverse directly, which all this has been touched up gradually in my previous videos. Now, she says you can call it the unmanifest void, which should have been the overvoid, but because the overvoid is what is that which creation stays on, and it hasn't witnessed creation until the crisis. She then says you can call it God's unconscious, which further would have supported it being the overvoid because it hadn't noticed creation, and she's talking about the beginning before creation. But that's contradictory because she says unconscious and Hecate is the collective unconscious. She also says that the light of God would fall also within the neutral term. And finally, using the term goddess or God is an insult to her. Now, the thing of God will fall, right, could be either ways because she is giving us too much mixed vibe here of herself, not herself or himself or himself. Herself is him or herself, and she says God, and then she also makes statement of goddess. So which means she's not specific. She doesn't give a fuck who, be the presence or be Hecate. So we have to go into deeper lore to know who is this. And we've already given some deeper ones, and we know it's Hecate already. This also simply points that it is Hecate she refers to. As we know, Hecate is the creator of creation, and she birthed those who birthed creation, which includes the presence. It can't be the overvoid because she isn't beyond the overvoid. I really don't have much to say here, but she's not above the overvoid. And she says she's beyond goddess, she's beyond Hecate and the presence. Even the concept of any form of Jidua or any form of mythical or mythological concepts she is beyond it. But for those who haven't read Justice League Dark, well, Hecate isn't the only creator, and neither is Perpetua. And I think it is time to finally explain all at once so you all can actually fathom what's going on. But you will need to watch my other videos and watch this fully. And the presence is excluded in this because I'm just talking about the female context now. The way this creation myth works is easy but complicated, to be honest. I put in a lot of work to even try to understand it myself, and I'm doing good, thank God. Now we know that the source already existed before Perpetua, and same as the overvoid. We have established yesterday in our video that indeed the sixth dimension is within the source. I didn't mention in-depth stuff about that, which I don't know if I should have just put in the comment section, or no, you wait for the DC cosmology video. But if you've read the comics well and you have realized some statements, even the new metal stuff, you would know why is that. Let me just give you a hint, so I won't just leave you guys in the blue. Basically, the source is in between the source wall and the greater omniverse. The greater omniverse, even from the map, would be the overvoid. And then Perpetua is constantly shown weaker than the Raptor Hawk is from the source. And and its own masters are from the void, the overvoid. And then Perpetua even has to rent and borrow power from the source to create creation, so meaning she's weaker than it. And then the fifth dimension and the sixth dimension shit is something that I'll talk about later, but just know it's obvious that she's below the sixth dimension, at least as of then. But now she has amped and she's beyond the source. But her realm, the sixth dimension itself, is beyond the overvoid. Her race also moves within the greater omniverse. So which means so she does, as she's more powerful, she can also go to the greater omniverse. But not like she's native to there. You understand? It's kind of a lot deeper and simple, but let's move on. So indeed, the sixth dimension is within the source because the source is blatantly and constantly shown more powerful than her, with and without the power of the totality, given to her to shape creation. Now she created everything from the bleed. And also Perpetua is gonna die soon. For those who don't know, just watch out. So she's going to get irrelevance very soon and all these bullshit arguments will end. She's gonna die in Hecate here, but whatever. Now she created everything from the bleed to the fifth dimension, which is within the source as well, most logically as a physical manifestation. Now, we do know that Hecate is magic, belief, which is gotten from the dreaming, and she is the collective unconscious, which everything birthed from. Go check my previous videos. I'm not putting scans here. Go watch those. Now, we do know that Hecate is pure light. Now, we do know Hecate's pure light form predates everything around the still forming multiverse. And this includes the dark multiverse which he created alongside the other place, which houses the other kind or the great darkness. Now the presence possibly was the one who sent the darkness running when the light of creation came, which is a what if, because in the scan it says some believe and Hecate's belief, which birthed the dark multiverse via fear and magic from the collective unconscious. And also it says God sent when he came. The light that existed in creation as pure magic was Hecate, and then she birthed gods, which includes heaven, hell, and the presence. And upside down man existed after gods. When Hecate knew fear and the dark multiverse was created alongside the other place, which is a little part of the great which is a little part of the dark in the past, which rivaled the presence in Swamp Thing Volume 2 was gonna tear down creation. Now, I want to correct something and go even deeper. The Godsphere was created after the dark multiverse came. The form of Hecate created from her true light. The form of Hecate like a corporeal form was created from a true light form, which had no shape in the darkness. And we know she created the upside down man moments after she came to exist as a shape of corporeal form. And this happened after she had created the multiverse. And when we say he created the multiverse, she didn't literally create it then, but she created those who will create it. At this point, the tree of life, the Yggdrasil, the depth of the green, which all of creation sprang from, but yet still this being didn't still create everything, as it would still create those who will create the multiverse. But when but still this tree of life can take all of creation back, which it did, as you can see in the scans, and brought it back. This should be Perpetua's kind within the greater omniverse, and everything sprang on the greater omniverse, including Pralaya, which is the overvoid. I mean, the greater omniverse is the overvoid. And these things all exist because truly it amuses Hecate. And this tree of life is the seat of magic, but yet Hecate is magic itself. And the green is shown to be able to exist in the other place by amping Swamp Thing to hold upside down man. And it is stated that to exist beyond the sphere of the gods and the dark multiverse. So Perpetua is nothing. She is powerful even to kill this time gremlin of Pralaya, absorbed her into the sea of Brahma, and she has also protected the Justice League Dark from it pretty easily. Basically, Hecate created the creation through the Tree of Life, and the Tree of Life from a higher means where Perpetua created everything below the source. And even if you say this is all wrong and contradictory while ignoring deduced logic from canon source material, which has been taken through steps of abductive and deductive reasoning. You can just simply say at the end of the day that really all these are myths um, that have beliefs to them. They are real and they amuse Hecate for them to exist. As she is their creator, and Pralaya says, and we know that Hecate birthed in the nothing, which of course is Maha Pralaya. Pralaya scales still to baseline high alto reversal, but definitely at the tip top of it, that beyond her is literally the overvoid. But yeah, she will still be incredibly insignificant because despite all this, people don't realize that Hecate is actually too strong. Because when you think of it, there are possible myriad amounts of light multiverses, in which each might just as well have their dark multiverse, which is too big for the light, or the dark multiverse actually contains this possible infinite amount of multiverses, and yet everything is too small to the overvoid, to Pralaya chocolates of the overvoid. But it's not still an infinite transcendence. Something being infinitely larger than the other is not an inaccessible transcendence. And the light multiverse does swim within the dark. Hecate created the dark multiverse which others basically built upon. Pralaya still is greater than this, and she might just be the dark opposite of the overvoid, but she's most likely not. And to further prove her superiority over Hecate, she says that Zatanna's eyes she says that Zatanna says that life is a dream, which is true if you have been following up for the most part. And age after age, creation dies and gets reborn, which includes the dark multiverse. Dreams fade, and then Hecate uses the dreaming to put beliefs into creation as she's existence itself and pure magic. Because of Zatanna's beliefs through magic, then a vague Constantine and Zatanna existed and brought back a vague new Promethean from the collective consciousness of the green, which is part of Hecate. Also, the magic is what the tree uses and is what helped to bring, is what they used to bring it back. But this is only a feat relative to the shadow of Pralaya, her gremlin. Even the beliefs of dead man is no use to her smaller and far weaker gremlins. Finally, her true form is unfathomable, but yet they have been able to fathom people like the presence, the tree of life, and Hecate. If you found this video informative, please do to like, share, comment, subscribe, and see you next time. Peace.